Welcome to the LOV8U podcast. Elevate your life, elevate your heart, elevate love on the planet, elevate your soul and the planet as a whole. I'm your host, Paulasadler, and thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited. We have a very interesting topic, and today I want to talk about the Dragonfly. And this is from Lotus Speaks by Teri, one of my very favorite authors, and I love his very insightful book that he has on animal totems. It includes birds, reptiles, insects, and you're like, what is an animal totem? What is that? So I'm part Native American, just a tiny, tiny part, and along with being French and English and just a whole mix. So I really connect with animal totem and animal medicine as part of that I feel is deeply within me. Somewhere in the DNA, it's in there, going back through time. And I started having experiences with, animals and nature, quite a long time ago. And I've had quite an experience with dragonflies. Just the other day, while I was talking with my friend Teri on the phone about this new podcast concept, LOV8U, as I mentioned the word LOV8U, a beautiful green dragonfly flew in front of my car, in front of my salon and spa here in Las Vegas, and it landed on the gate in front of me. And I just looked at it and I said, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And usually when dragonflies show up, there's a lot of change and different things that are happening. It's very positive, and I have a lot of stories to share about these dragonfly experiences. It's a whole series by itself. And anyway, so I looked at it, and I thought, wow, look at that. Thank you for flying into my view. Then it flew up to my car and looked at me through the window, literally. And I was in my car with the door closed. So I got out, I did take some pictures, and it was this beautiful jeweled green dragonfly. And here's the essence of the dragonfly. When the dragonfly shows up, it usually symbolizes we're about to enter a 2-year period of change in our life, because that's the time that it takes for the dragonfly to go from the nymph stage, when it's living in the water, to when it comes out of the water, water symbolizing our emotional life and emotional body, coming out of the water into the land, representing our physical body, and then it's flying in the air. And so it's which represents our thoughts and higher thoughts. So it's literally going through this metamorphosis, living in all these dimensions of time and space. And that's what it's speaking to us about. And green is the color of the heart chakra. So when I mention the words, LOV8U, and it's all about love, the green dragonfly appears and gives a beautiful message. And so it just gave me that little bit of inspiration and that hope that I'm on the right track, I'm on the right path, that this is something that is divinely ordered, divinely guided, and that it is meant to be done. So thank you, Dragonfly. I have a picture of this beautiful dragonfly. And that brings me to the point of you may have animal totem that you don't know about. Could be anything at all. Sometimes these come as animal attacks that we survive, or something that we're very afraid of. So if you're afraid of spiders, if you're afraid of snakes, then that might be the thing that you need to look into to say, well, what does that mean to me? And with our spiders, just to give you an example, so they have 8 legs. It symbolizes creativity, the artist. They help writers. So if you're a writer and you're deathly afraid of spiders, there's something that's blocking your creativity. And the spider will help you to unravel that and to unpackage that so that you can become more creative as you move through the fear. And one of my totems is I have the dragonfly, the butterfly, and also the hummingbird. I also have the seagull as well as one of mine, and we'll go into that in some future episodes. So if you want to know more about your animal totems, I work with those and have worked with those extensively. With my intuitive work that I do here in my salon and spa in Las Vegas. I use them as part of my intuitive life readings that I do. And we can look at what it is that you're afraid of, or maybe something you've survived an attack from, or even something you find intriguing and beautiful that may be one of your totems or one of your hidden totems. And if we look deep enough, we can find the reason and the meaning of what it's bringing into your life. And I'm happy to share that with you here in Las Vegas. And that brings me to our next talking point, and that is we just did our finished a great interview with Teri Noel, and I'd like you to enjoy listening to her profound spiritual insight and love. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We have on the line my very good and dear friend, Teri Noel. She's one of my greatest spiritual inspirations and mentors, and there are so many titles that go behind that. Best friend, godmother, a spiritual advisor, listener of endless hours of my life. So welcome to LOV8U, and thank you for coming on today.
Well, thank you so much. I hope I live up to all of that in the podcast today. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, so we're here today. We have just introduced LOV8U to the podcast universe and to the world out there. And I just couldn't think of a better person to talk about spirituality, the raising of vibration of love on the planet, and healing that's so needed in so many places. And yes. Yeah,
I agree. I'm so happy to hear that you're doing LOV8U, because I think it's going to be a wonderful introduction to people of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to find yourself in with your faith, your spirituality, with New Thought, with mysticism.
Well, I think my quest for spirituality began when I was very, very young, and I had seen a lot of things. I had two alcoholic parents that I grew up with, so domestic violence was around me, and the riots and all of that. But I was always aware of an energy that I know that might sound a little hokey, but it was always this awareness of this other higher kind of, I'm just going to call it vibrational sense. And I was always drawn to mystical books and loved the library, loved learning, and I excelled in school, but I always was interested in esoteric material and how people were acting the way that they were acting in the community, and what things were being taught in school, and I just had a natural inclination to just discover. And I think through that, I found more and more evidence of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed up for me in the way of, sometimes I would get pictures, and then it would be a deja vu kind of experience, and I'd walk right in and see the people that I saw in my head or whatever, and I just knew that there was something to that, and I went on a quest to just develop it.
And
so, I'm sorry.
How has your experience changed with the faith that you grew up with? Is there a difference between that and your current belief system?
Yes, I came through Pentecostal church, and always, took those concepts, and that was a big deal for me because it laid the foundation. But I always knew that there was more. There was more. So I started to study Buddhism, Kabbalah, all these different foods for thought, and came out of the other side with the analogy I always talk to you about having a toolbox. Not everything am I going to use in my life, but I took what I could use and the rest I let go of. And that kind of led me to the concept of, I have a podcast that I haven't really launched yet, but I'm working on, and it's called Lotus Speaks. And I kind of look at the duality of our life in the symbolism of a lotus. You come from the muckety-muck, and then there's this beautiful, exquisite flower that comes from that. And so I think we're all sort of like that. We have that duality that runs through our life. And right now, I am looking back and I'm experiencing and seeing that everything that I learned in some way either helps me in my development or it's something that I can pass on to other people.
That's a beautiful philosophy and a beautiful talking point. And I'm personally a recipient of your spiritual beliefs and your love and kindness. And we've known each other for a long time. Actually, to our viewers and listeners, it was because of Teri and Teri's love for me that when I was just 26 years old, she recommended that I go to my first 12-step recovery meeting. And after seeing me from about 12 years old to 26, from an outsider's point of view and seeing all of my life and my crazy times, she was the only person that I listened to finally, after so many years of pain and suffering and inner turmoil and struggle at my own hand by the bottle. And finally, I listened. And how do you find it helping others when they're so desperate and they're in so much need of healing, whatever that may be? That could be alcoholism, it could be other kinds of addiction, it could be other traumas that they have faced, and then at their own self-destruction. How is that experience of trying to help them, and then when they seem to resist?
Well, I really think it's more about identifying, listening, active listening, and then identifying maybe the core issue. And all we can really do, because I God works through me, or higher power works through me, or universal truth speaks through me if I'm still enough. And I'm only responsible for planting a seed. And I just make sure that my ego is in check. So I don't think I have to water it all the time. I don't have to go and keep checking on it. And that's a development that now I'm even realizing more, because all you can really do is plant the seed. And it is up to the person if they have enough self-awareness. That's really what I feel my gift is just to help someone be aware of the energy that they're putting into the universe, and then we're all in cause and effect at that point. I hope I'm not, using too many euphemisms, but that's where I try to stay.
So on that point of spirituality, esoteric, mysticism, all of these beautiful, beautiful philosophies and beliefs and practices, how do you find that with most people? Do you find that most people seem to be open to those principles and that kind of language and those kind of practices?
No, I think no.
and then why not? Why are they not?
Because I think spirit is it's such an individual journey. So if you could get someone to just slow down with the breath or with gardening, with whatever, and stop the busyness and slow down those repetitive thoughts, and you can really get into where their belief system came from. Did it come from a toxic parent situation? Do you really maybe need help with medication or whatever? Just sometime pointing them towards those resources. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Sometimes it's different. And pointing them towards God or higher power to help help a person through something so they don't feel like they have to do it. It's an experience. I know that when I was studying with Paramahansa Yogananda, nobody talked about their experience with meditation. And here I had come from, a hoopala and Christian background. So to stay in a chair, it felt like I was being harnessed, But I had to learn stillness. And when I did that, you just develop like a hearing, or you can hear guidance, and you see that in the synchronicities in your life. And everyone has that antenna that reaches out for that universal higher power. So really that's what we're looking for in all these different belief systems, is just to connect.
So with everyone having this antenna that's needing to reach out, how do you propose, or what do you think the best way is, or what are we needing to help raise the consciousness so that on the planet, so that people can be connected to this source?
Well, just in general, the only thing that comes up for me right now is that I think that people need to get in touch with that stillness, and when I'm talking about stillness, it's going back to the breath, to realize that we are incredible beings. There's all these things that happen to a person, like our heart beating, our blood flowing. We're miraculous. And knowing that happens on an automatic basis, and then getting in touch with the thoughts and impressions that we have, and being mindful of the moment. And I think that's what is slowing down your thoughts, so that you can not empty your head, but you can be aware of what you're thinking. Then you can be an observer, and you could start, that self-awareness points us to, did we get all of this belief system from the media, from the church? Okay, that's great. That's fine. That's foundational. But how do we develop a working spirituality and connection with our higher power? And that's where I think our lives change.
Well, Teri, thank you for sharing that point of view and that philosophy. And you are definitely an example of that in action. So if everyone could just know a Teri Noel in their life, that would be amazing. And we'd have a much more conscious and aware planet. So you never know where that angel is going to come from, when that miracle is going to happen. It could just be in the neighbor next door from you that is sending you love, that is watching from afar and using the power of prayers and blessings to facilitate healing that's needed. And you, Teri, are a wonderful and beautiful example of spirit in action, of love in action. So keep doing what you're doing, keep helping people, keep spreading the love, because you are a powerful spiritual and healing force on the planet that's needed now.
Oh, thank you, Paula. Thank you so much. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah, and
I'm glad you grew up to be the person that you are. I'm so glad.
And thank you for joining us on LOV8U. We'd like to invite you in sometime so we can see you in person too.
Okay, I'd love to do that. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. That was my great friend and one of my best and most trusted spiritual advisors, Teri Noel. She'll be coming back to us soon for some more spiritual insight. And if you're really enjoying what you're hearing, please join me at aharmonynailspa here in Las Vegas. We're just a few blocks from the Strip at my beauty salon, day spa, and wellness center. Also, if you want more of what we're doing, join us at our Holistic Festival on October 21st from 11 to 1 for a very special community sage event and meditation. It's just going to be fantastic. So I'm calling on all holistic healers and practitioners. Come out and share the energy that you have. Maybe you do a drum circle or you work with crystal bowls or whatever it is that you do. Come on down and join us. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to ring in the healing for the neighborhood, for ourselves and others. And also, in final closing here, we just thank you for tuning in and for being with us. And we hope that you come back, and that if you're enjoying these series, please consider going to our website, taking a look at everything around there. And I will be looking forward to meeting you in person here at my spa in Las Vegas. Thank you.